We always need more resources. We always want more data, and we want more like processing hours to actually process it, and then we need to store it. So we tend to do things really big in our lab, and so that's our like persistent challenge.
Well, we're here at the NGIS Conference, going to visit with Theo Hartsook and talk about some of the things he's doing in GIS. So first, what exactly interests you about GIS in general? What do you like about it?
So for me, it kind of goes all the way back to when I was a kid, and I really liked the games where you had lines on maps. And then I found out you could do that as like a job, and so that's kind of where my interest came. And then as I got into it, I just really appreciated like learning the spatial component of stuff because it has a lot of explanation that is not obvious when you're just looking at like tabular data or like a written log or anything like that.
Yeah. It's like data plus visualization, which is like...
Yeah.
So what kind of work do you do around GIS, or how does GIS play a role in the work that you do right now?
So I mostly work with point cloud data. So in terms of kind of how I play into our GIS, a lot of geotiffs kind of derive from point clouds. And occasionally we'll do like 3D spatial analysis.
Okay. So what kind of, what work right now is sitting on your desktop that you're actively working on this week, this month, the next couple months? What's keeping you busy this week?
So I'm working on machine learning for a photogrammetry project.
Okay.
To kind of pre-filter some of the frames we have. And we're hoping to kind of reduce the amount of images we have to process because that takes a long time. And then we're also hoping to kind of add some semantic value to those images so that we can kind of do a bigger scale photogrammetry project we've been doing that just it takes too long to get it done.
Sure.
So
this is like kind of aerial photography type of...
It's actually like first person view.
Oh, okay.
Which is why we kind of need the filtering, is because there's a lot of times when you're recording that like you look down or you like your hands in front of the lens, stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff we're trying to filter out.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then either associated with that or just in general, what are some of the technical dilemmas that your team struggles with or you struggle with as you go along these different operations involving GIS?
We always need more resources. We always want more data, and we want more like processing hours to actually process it, and then we need to store it. So we tend to do things really big in our lab, and so that's our like persistent challenge.
Got it. And when you say processing, you mean more like sort of human hours invested or computational power, or?
Honestly, both.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we could always use more CPU or GPU time, and if we had extra hands, that would be great too.
Yeah. And so just to get context, are you like sharing an allocated CPU time? The way you speak about it, CPU time, is there like a university resource that
we use
is shared?
High performance computing system at UNR called Pronghorn.
Okay.
And so that's shared amongst the whole university.
Okay. So what do you really like about what you do, and what are some areas that you could see some improvements that you think would make your flow or your days sort of a little bit happier if you could see them?
Yeah. I really like what I do because we work a lot with forest fires. So like that's obviously a pretty important element in people's lives. Like they can be disasters.
Absolutely.
Or they can be something that is actually in a controlled burn. They can be really good, and sometimes a controlled burn becomes a disaster. And so just working on that is really cool because it's influencing people's lives.
Yeah. So last question we're trying to ask everybody is, what advice would you give to people who are entering this industry, any industry, basically looking to be a respected professional in a professional environment? What advice would you give to people that you work with now, longtime colleagues, veterans, and novices into this professional workspace?
I think it's always good to keep learning new stuff, and if you can kind of pair that learning with something you're passionate about, I think that's super valuable, especially in something like GIS, because it's kind of one thing to teach like a biologist how to use ARC. It's a totally different thing to teach a GIS tech like biology.
Okay.
So like if you can find that combination, I think that's always really, really powerful.
Awesome. Well, Theo, thank you so much for visiting with us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for presentation. And keep rocking on with the GIS activity.
Thanks.